Yep. We've
Let's
got
do
that
this.
going on.
Okay. There he is.
Got a shared screen over here. We got people coming in,
Hey,
welcoming them.
Hey,
Come
Russell,
on.
I just wanted to let you know with the light over your head, you just look like an angel. A dark
That
He's
sounds
angel.
on mute.
that sounds like the beginning of a pickup line. So we don't need to take that to the next step. Russell, perhaps you are an angel. Oh, even better.
Oh,
Period.
stop.
You, I want to say, Kevin, you did that.
Oh,
What
no,
time is
no,
it? We
no.
are
I
at
didn't say turn your light off, but
9:15, ladies, gentlemen, and folks, people out there. I want to welcome you all. My name is Joe Welch, and we are here on Baystate Radio every Thursday night at 9:15. I'm not alone. Of course, I have the most amazing partner in crime, Jim Tanner, $200,000 ring earner, member of the Millionaires Club, author, and he gives me my millionaire mornings once a week. So it's such a blessing to have that also here on Thursday nights. So hello, Jim. How you doing? See if his audio's on for a
You.
hello. Hey.
Yes.
And I mean, can I spill the beans about like what's to come today, or should we wait and have people live in suspense
Make
about
them wait. Make
Oh,
them
make 'em
wait.
wait. We've got the most amazing guest speaker this evening. If you're already checking it out, you're going to have to wait to see who that is. In the meantime, I just want to get started by saying hello. How are you all doing? We are bringing up some slides here because in August, we already have people who have made a difference. And making a difference is just doing even one sale. One sale, that's your business right there. And we see a very familiar names: Julie Gershon, Jim Tanner and Danielle Russo, myself, Bob Sheasley, Fitzgerald and Joanne St. Time, Amy Mahoney, I see you right there. I'm going to move this out of the way. EBS Insurance Brokers Inc., Vivian Nang, Marilyn Weeks, and Clifford Pafford. Thank you so much for doing that one bit of business. Now, we will admit that, not all reports are completely current, so you're more than welcome to let us know if you have made a difference in a month and your name is not appearing on the chart. Just give us a heads up. Contact me directly, contact Jim directly, and we'll make sure that that gets on there, because we know that making that difference does make a difference. You've protected a family, you've been out there, you've done something good for somebody else. And the beautiful thing is, we know in Legal Shield is now you did good, and now you're going to do well. We also have Performance Club. Now I'm going to give you guys a heads up. It is the 20th. Let me see. Do I know my way? January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Do you guys know the secret? So there's 31 days in July, and then you come to this side, there's 31 days in August. So in case you're not sure how many days are in the month, that's a that's a great way to do it. It's gonna be good for Olive, right? So because like the bumps are the 31 and the divots are the 30. And so there's 31 days in August, and it's only the 20th, which means that you have 11 more days to make your way not only onto these charts, but also to achieve great heights. 11 days. A lot of empires are built in 11 days. If you hear some of the stories of our new leaders coming in, they are doing a lot in 11 days. I plan to do a lot in 11 days. So with that, a shout out to Julie Gershon, Jim Tanner, and Danielle Russo, myself, yay, Amy Mahoney, I see you, PC qualified, and Daquan Booker, also a new, I know, yeah, Mr. Daquan is also, we're excited. He's a part of a team out of New York, and we're already in touch and making sure that he's getting all the resources that are available. The next announcement, and this is the one that's really been taking a lot of attention. And the biggest reason is because we always do 2 conferences a year. The one that's coming up is our leadership conference. I got to tell you, the last one I went to in person was just off the hook. The level of leadership that they bring in, the amount of, like, if you're looking for something, if you're like, I'm not feeling it, I need something to really just juice up not only myself, but also my team and the people with me. There's nothing like having just going to one of these events. I'm just muting everybody. Going to one of these events, and this is the event, because not only is it coming up on the 8th and the 9th and the 10th of October, not only is it amazing and stacked with information and leadership that's just going to inspire you, but they also have already made the decision to do it online. And I got to tell you, the last one, which was out of Dallas, waited to the last moment because we know that it's a business, so there's contracts, there's things that we as associates, we can't predict what's going on the business level, but they had to do what they needed to do, and it was very last minute. Here we are already poised. It is only August 20th, and we know it's going to be online. We know that it's going to be virtual. For our deaf team, for our Spanish team, for our French team, we already know that that corporate is already handling interpretation and making sure that those rooms are there. So there's really no excuse. There's no flights, there's no hotel. You don't have to worry if someone's putting nuts into the salad or if you prefer meat over veg, and how are you gonna, none of that. You get to sleep in your own bed. And with COVID, no one's allowed over. So you get all the room in the house, you get all the room to put the food in the fridge. And it's only $99. And it's going to be 2 jam-packed days. You make sure you get a lot. I've been buying new notebooks. Make sure you buy new notebooks, new pens, and have them ready, because the amount of notes you get. And that's what we should all be doing, right? Every time we sit down and listen to something new, right? I see Amy nodding over there. We get the notebook out, you start to jot down those notes, because that's the way we not only listen, but then it processes through our body, and we're able to really enjoy and remember better. Now, the other amazing thing is that it's only $99. That's it, 99 bucks. It's not too bad for a national level conference with super high end leadership and speakers. And that, if you see now, the slide I'm bringing up is actually always the link for our conventions. connect.legalshield.com/convention. So every time, I know some people are like, what's the link? This is always the link. It appears. So no matter what, you take a screenshot of this, write this down in the front of your journal. It's always the convention link. And so that's the best way to get situated. And then, in case things weren't good enough, coincidentally, our own Mr. Jim Tanner has discounted tickets for $69. So if you are looking to save even more money and go to this amazing conference, forget that it's $100. We got some for $69. So I'm telling you, it just gets better. You will not want to miss this. And believe it or not, being in a live environment, even if it's online, really does make a difference. It really does make a difference. It was so, I didn't know, I wasn't sure, but I was very pumped up with me and my team. And it was just great. So with that, I think I've covered all the basics. I'm going to go ahead and bring on, like I said, my partner in crime. Oh, look what I happen to have here. Did you know that Jim Tanner is an author? Now, what I will point out is that you can see my sad page right there. It's just so blank. I think there's like a lot of room for Jim to like maybe do a really heartfelt dedication on the front of my book here. But I do just want to say, and I'm doing the shameless plug on your behalf, that we do have an author in our midst. And not only do we get him on Thursday nights for his wisdom and the people that he's also bringing in to share more, but you could take him home with you. Amazon. I ordered them on Amazon. And I'll have to find a way to get that signature. Jim, let me go ahead and let you take it away.
Thank you very much, Joe Welch, and I appreciate the plug. And I will indeed sign books as we are legally allowed to come within a pen's length. I'll get a 6-foot-long pen, I think. That's what we can do. That'll work. Let's see. You went over so much great stuff. Congratulations to all of you making a difference. Great job to those of you who are already Performance Club qualified. We didn't bust it out this way on the screen, but there's a few of those folks already Performance Club Pro, which doubles your bonus. So great job there. And there's a whole bunch of people whose names we could have put on the screen that are right on the edge, knocking on the door of Performance Club. And we know that you'll be on the list when we finish up the month. And we're looking back at the month of August, which is going to be the biggest month in Massachusetts history in a long time. And I'm excited about that. It's because of all of you. And also shout out to Sharon Mendez. We were talking about this before we went live, who's completed her Massachusetts legal plan licensing process. I asked her before we were live, did you study or did you guess? And I think the answer ended up being a little bit of both. So congratulations. And you know what? Nobody cares how you got that passing score. No one's ever going to ask you what that score is. I don't even remember what mine was, but it wasn't 100, and it was more than whatever was required. And you never have to do it again. That's the best part. You never have to do it again. So congratulations. We really mean it. I mean, every week I say you don't need a license, and that's true, you don't. But that doesn't mean we don't celebrate those that go get it, and we celebrate you for that. And you're going to come back to me in about a year and say, I use it about as much as Jim Tanner said I would, but but you'll be glad you have it. Just like seat belts and safety nets and flotation devices and that thing that drops down on the airplane that you can breathe into. You hope you don't need it, but you're glad when you have it. I am a dad. I get to do all the dad jokes, and I had my daughter in the car for 2.5 hours today, and she is done with it. But now you all are stuck with me for a few more minutes. And as a matter of fact, I'll just say, Joe, it was our pleasure to celebrate you on the Super Saturday. Congratulations to you. You got a well-deserved shout out. And Joe will tell you that we are continuing to look for people to help us lead as we expand geographically, which sounds weird, right? Because we're all just kind of Brady bunching it on the computer, but that's not how it's always going to be. And we have this massive state from North Adams to Provincetown, where I just was this morning. We have this massive state, and we have a lot of ground to cover. And we have this massive $2 billion company, and we have a lot of ground to cover. So we're going to need more people that are interested in stepping into these leadership roles. So here's what I would have you do is ask Joe. That should be a show. Ask Joe. Ask Joe what it's like to be involved in a leadership role. And she will talk to you about that as we continue to prepare people to get to those levels. And we can nominate additional certified meeting coordinators and other leaders. And that, like we said on Saturday, Danielle and I, Joe Welch, you're our secret weapon. We're so grateful for you, for everything that you do for us, and to make us look like we know what the heck we're even talking about. I'll say one other thing about my book. Not as a plug for that, but just so because I'd love for you all to get a free one. Joe, hold it up again. There you go. It was announced on the Super Saturday for the Northeast that next month's Super Saturday with Don Thompson, which of course the Super Saturday is free. So a lot of people don't register ahead of time. Well, the NVPs love it when you register ahead of time. Actually, all the leaders love it because it just helps us understand how we're doing in promoting these live events. So we threw a little incentive on top of that. I signed 10 copies of that book, shipped them out to the Mannings, and they're going to be drawing names from the pre-registered list. So if you want a signed copy and you don't know where 61 Elm Street in Framingham is, then you should pre-register for the Super Saturday, because you might, Kevin knows where it is, because you might just get one shipped to you from the Mannings, and they paid full price for them. So don't feel guilty if you get one for free, because somebody paid for it, and that's all that really matters, because I got a kid going to private school. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me step out of the way and introduce my good friend who's here to join us and speak with us this evening. And I told him that he didn't have to spend a lot of time because he is stepping away from his family. He's a good friend of mine, one of my traveling companions, and a real good buddy. Someone that, we all need that person that we can say the things to that we can't say to anybody else. That's this guy for me. And that's probably this guy for a lot of people, but he sure makes me feel special when I have time with him. Also, he always, always, always tells me what I need to know, not what I want to hear. And that's why I have a very special nickname for him. So please welcome to our Zoom this evening. He's the regional manager, director, whatever we're calling it. He's the big wig, the big shot in the state of Rhode Island. He is an expert in the business solutions division of Legal Shield. He is a leader in his organization and a phenomenal mentor and trainer. He also happens to be a great entrepreneur outside of Legal Shield. But more important than anything, he's the guy who says what he really needs, what he really means. And that's why we call him the Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin the Truth Caliste.
You're too much. You're very too much. Hey, I appreciate you getting the chance to speak with you. Can y'all hear me? Thumbs up if you can, Joe. Fantastic. Okay, great. I'll share a few things with you all. And because it's small and group, I can be a little more intimate and candid. So let me just share a few things with you, but here's where participation comes in at. So let me just get you to, if you pop your camera photo in, I just want to get a couple of fingers on a couple of things. So, so let me just, Joe, I know, but I'm gonna talk about Joe in a bit. So, Amy, and even if you unmute us all. So how long you been with us, Amy, in Legal Shield? Fingers, how many years? Joe, I can't.
Amy, yep. Amy's saying that I've been with Legal Shield for 5 months.
Phenomenal. Oh, this is really good for her. Sharon's been with us about
Since October.
phenomenal. Great. Russell, I know Russell's about maybe a year or so where we started getting back with Russell. And and we got Mike with us. Showed himself. You look better in person, Mike. 2 years? 2 years or 2 months? Or 2 days? Or 2 hours?
2 years.
Got it.
Sorry about that. I had to figure out unmute.
No. Here's what I will share with you all. I think just one of the number one things that we can do for your state here. Joe, do you remember the first time? Not that you and I met. I don't know, but do you remember the first time you met Jim Tanner and I together?
Yes, I think so.
What do you think?
Well, I know that we sat down and had beers.
Okay, we're gonna stop it right there. We're gonna stop you right there.
It sounds like that was it was
It's the way you said it, but you're correct. But you're correct. You're correct. That was the beginning. And so here's one of the things. Here's what I will share with you. If you to have a lot of success, you just got to show up. So same way this platform that you have here, I don't think y'all know that a lot of people don't have this platform. And some of my training I'll just share with you, and not really training, words of thoughts, my opinions here. It's the beginning of being consistent and showing up, especially when you think it's not as important. So we think about getting to the big events or getting to be big like Mr. Tanner is. It's showing up. And I think I recall we actually put something in Eventbrite for the market and said, hey, listen, we're going to get together and we're just going to hang out a little bit and socialize. And Joe came there with her business, wondering, debating, contemplating, and here she is today. And I was looking at your growth and just the journey, and that's all she did was just show up. And a big factor is, I can say this because y'all ain't got to invite me back, you know, and my services are free, but she connected with those who were leading in her market, and that was Mr. Tanner. And sometimes we take it for granted who we have with us. And we don't say these things because we're just friends. I say these things because it's the truth. And so she got a chance to talk, got a lot of her questions answered. And over a period of time, her and we got a chance to get together. And so the business was kind of like this, and then it got to be like that, straight. And that's what we want to be able to do. So I want to share that with you all. So for beginning, what is needed? I think the number one thing we need to do is just stay connected. So my question to you is, I don't know how long ago that was, Joe, when we got a chance to just really line up, when Mr. Tanner actually had that. It might have been about maybe 4, I don't know, 4 longer years. I'm not sure with that.
I'd say maybe early 2018.
Yeah. Further. Yeah, okay, 2018. No, yeah, maybe. I think a little bit around that time. That's right. I'm thinking 2018 was last year. So staying and doing that. So I just want y'all to ask yourself this, because I can say this. A year from now, will you still be on this call? Because this is intimate, you know, and that's what she had. There's a lot of things for corporate, and we're going to talk about corporate in a minute. But having this call when you get someone as Mr. Tanner who says, I'm gonna make myself available. I've only made $1 million. You know, I've only got a couple of 100,000 ring earners underneath me, and have this platform that we have. Can you see yourself a year from now being consistent? Here's what we know. Those who remain, like Joe, are the ones who are here and you see the benefit. So I just want to share that with you. Sometimes success is right in eye view, and we don't see it. We start looking at, tell me the key to the magic sauce, you know, the secret sauce. And the biggest one is just staying plugged in and showing up. That is the biggest thing. I'll just share with you a little bit about how I got in contact with even Mr. Jim Tanner. He sent out, now, as you know, Mr. Tanner recruit many people. And as he talked about the license, he recruited individuals and he would send out this email. Anybody would like to train somebody that he recruited in Rhode Island or Connecticut. And I answered it. You know, I answered and say, sure. And then eventually he sent all these people, we got a chance to connect, you know, but it's all about showing up and answering the call. So don't only answer for the big things. We want you to be at the convention, but make sure that you're here next week. That's the one. See, that's the next event. And I just want to highlight that. Let's broaden this out a bit. Please, 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 please stay connected to what corporate has for you. So you've paid $99 to be called a Legal Shield associate. That's how I just figured that. That's really what that money does. But now what should we do? So you have locally, you have leadership, you know, you have teams and you have sponsors and all of those things, but we definitely want to be able to follow along with corporate. I think that's just so important. So for you, whatever your schedule is, I was talking to an associate the other day, and he could not catch the corporate show when it's on Mondays, and he couldn't catch it Sunday. And I told him, but it's recorded the whole week. So we got 168 hours a week. Could he give his business one? That's for him to learn what's needed. So that's important. Are we staying connected, staying plugged in? And I just think that's so important. But let me just share something with you that I'm doing. So if you want to know what I'm doing, I'll just share some things that what I'm doing right now. And you know, when you get called on training calls like this here, it's an honor. It's not to be taken for granted. I feel privileged. But if you can raise your hand, and for Joe, if we need to communicate with someone, let me know. I want to get a chance for those. Mr. Tanner, keep himself blacked out. So how many of us would like some one-on-one training with perhaps maybe an executive director or a person who would just with a millionaire club member in Legal Shield? Got it. Next question. It's not so much a plug, it's just a reality. How many of us actually have that book of Mr. Jim Tanner already? Okay, all right, okay. So how many of us, this is not our first time being on the Massachusetts call? Sharon's first time? Not your first time. Okay, yeah, no. Whose first time is here? Let me just do it. That's easy. Whose first time? Not. I did say you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. I'm very good in 1, 2, 3 red light, just so you know. So Mike's your first time? Gotcha. So Ann Clifford. So here's the reality. You gotta get the book. Here let's understand. So, you know, whether the book sends Jim Tanner's daughter to private school or not, that's just another thing. But I want to change the subject. And Jim, can I get you to just give me like 30 seconds? I need you to, when you pop in, I need you to tell me, show of hands, everybody, who knows who Todd Falcone is, if you know him. Okay, so Mike knows. Jim, how would you sum up who Todd Falcone is in the world of?
I would, for most people, I would say he's similar to what Eric Worre does in that he trains people outside of a specific network marketing company. He's a generic trainer for the industry. And the way I met him was I discovered him speaking on a conference call, or he was being interviewed on a training call, and I heard the way that he approached the business. This was many years ago when I was very frustrated, and I've been following him ever since.
Got it. So would you say Todd Falcone could impact people like Brian Crothers?
Todd and Brian are very good friends, and they definitely impact each other.
And so, thanks so much. So here's why I say that, because throughout the years, there's a lot of things that you can give back. If you, especially, if you in your car, you get in an accident, you got insurance, you get it replaced. My phone, I just bought myself, I upgraded, from a toy phone to a Galaxy here. And if it breaks, I got insurance. But some things you can't give back, and that's your time. And so Mr. Todd Falcone, who is like monumental the world over. So outside of here, he happened to write about his thoughts about our Jim Tanner. This is huge. This is like Brian Crothers, Darnell Self getting on corporate and saying, hey, let me just tell you how I personally feel about Russell Cook. We have a young lady named Amy Mahoney, and I just need to take a few minutes just to tell everybody in corporate, or a Michael, or Sharon, so that would just be huge. So here's why I wanted to just share a few things with you to don't wait and say I coulda, shoulda, woulda. So in his forward, he stated this: if you're wondering whether you got what it takes to succeed in the direct selling profession, this book, he sells books. I want you to understand, the world over. This book will give you answers to help you change your life for the better. But then he has 2 paragraphs I thought was just thought-provoking. He talked about Jim Tanner. He said, Jim Tanner literally takes you through the process of answering what are undoubtedly the biggest things that hold people back from success. So all of us can think about, if you were to talk to Joe could tell you, hey, listen, I understand a year ago what was holding me back. And a lot of it is just this thing between the 2 ears. It's not so much, it wasn't the license, right? It wasn't the license. So that's what it helps out. Here's the other thing it says: there are so many misconceptions people have about creating success in direct sales. Now, this part I did like this. Jim, this is my favorite quote. And Jim bluntly covers them. I like that. He gives us the truth and provides you with the answers based on his personal experience. And he says, this book will change your thinking. As a result, it'll change your actions. So that's what I recommend you get a chance to do, and is read it. So I have it. I have a group that I'm with, and they have the book. And every so often, we're going to review to make sure that they've covered it. Because I've been in the business here 11 years, and I'm happy. But I could look and say, if I had someone to say, hey, let me take you step by step on the way. And in the beginning, for a degree, that's where I had success. That's why I was able to hit executive director 6 months in the business. However, if I had someone that was blunt to say, listen, you think you've grown and you're on your own. So there's a period of time where I felt grown and I started doing my own thing, and I didn't have as much success. So I'll share that with you. And so I have someone like a Jim Tanner close by that allows me to be able to give my opinion, to express myself. And he's kind enough, because I've read him enough to know when he feels that I am totally drifting off. And we able to be communicate. So I think that's what you should do. I just think that if you're on a call and you have an author, you got to have his book. I just think I'm just saying that with you. I don't have a book. So if people didn't get on my call in Rhode Island, I'd be okay, But if I wrote a book and I got on it and we're saying he's made $1 million, he's made more money, and has a book, and this author who does direct sales the world over, and I've been on one of his calls, and people are calling from different countries, so who are making great success. You got to get the book to read it, to find out exactly what he's doing. How can you be successful? And that's what corporate wanted to know a year ago. How can a guy in the state of Massachusetts, the hardest state, be able to have some success? So please don't take it for granted. So I'm gonna share that with you, Mike. You're new with it, so you get a pass. So everybody else, don't wait for whether we get a signed copy. We go to Amazon. Y'all done already bought other stuff on Amazon. I don't want to tell you how much my household spent on Amazon just within this last few days. So you definitely got to get the book, because it's the learning curve. Here's another reason why. After this hour's up, what do? Jim's gonna be with me tomorrow. I can call him, I can talk to him, but we're going through it. So that's what I was sharing with Russell and a group of people this past week. With limited time that you're working your business. And so here's something that I want to just make a transition with. I need you to decide how much time you have to work the business. How many hours consistently can you work the business? So let's look at it from this perspective. How many days you have, and then how many hours you're able to put in that day. So maybe one day it's just you're so busy, it's like I can't work the business that day. Not a problem. It's not a sin. You're still good. But when you work in the business, that's what I need you to concentrate on. So this is going to help you how to maximize your time. So show of hands, how many of us were on the Super Saturday this past week? Okay. All right. So you've heard my story that I got a chance to share with you. How can I stay on Performance Club? Joe Welsh actually took pictures at years ago when my wife had died unexpectedly, came. But how can you hit Performance Club? You're grieving. The last thing I'm thinking about is what I got to do, report to Legal Shield. But being consistent, because I was plugged in enough. I knew what corporate had. It was enough to give me enough juice, 1 hour a week. And I worked the business, not just so many days. Now, I only worked the business so many hours for the month. And I was doing maybe about 7 to 10 hours a month. But I was able to stay consistently on Performance Club. You can't do that by mistake. I was privileged to spend some years, maybe 2 or 3, with Mr. Tanner to learn how to actually recruit, individuals. They buy a membership, recruit. Now you get the multiplier. That's important. So how many hours you're working? So I was talking to an associate early in the week, and he's like, well, I kind of get things done. I don't really know, how much time I can devote and stuff a day. He couldn't give me he couldn't promise 15 minutes a day. And I was like, that's called a hobby. That's called a problem. So what I'd like for you to do, ladies and gentlemen, how much time can you work your business? Your boss, if you have a job, will say, you're going to sit here. This is where you come in, and is going to tell us. I mean, I have people who work for me. I'm an entrepreneur, but I tell them what time we're getting off. And I'm a good boss. I would want to work for me. I guess that's why I work for myself. But you got to be consistent, and you got to know how much time you're going to work your business. By doing so, now when you actually put into practice what you hear in corporate, what you read from the book, your business can actually start to have a compounding effect. You can't be scattered. So for example, one of the things I learned last week, Saturday, is when you come up with an idea, you got to implement it right away. you know, you got to come up with an idea. You need to implement it right away. So I can't wait to implement that. That's one of the things that I need to do. One of the things I appreciated on the chapter I was reviewing with someone, and Mr. Tanner has in his book, we don't need the rah-rah stuff. I need to run my business, whether I'm in front of a crowd or not. Sometimes we like, well, I can't blame my sponsor. I don't have the momentum. I don't have this. I don't have a license. What am I going to do? But I have a company and I got people who've had success without the license. So those are the things that I think just for us here, because I'm close to you here, I'm not going to share you with a bunch of things. I just want you to keep in mind that I can't count the number of people who got started with Joe and said, I promise I'll be here next month. And I'll be here next week. But because they just didn't stay connected and make the commitment to this 1 hour, they didn't stay connected to corporate. Well, we can infuse energy into them. So I want to share that with you more than anything is don't take for granted. Mr. Jim Tanner won't say these things about himself. I'm sure Joe expresses well how she cares and feels about him. But from an outsider, I can just tell you, he bred the lifeline into my business, you know, and I need to share. Did I share that, you know, we're not on the same team, you know, but we didn't start out that way. So he's helped out a great deal, and that's what you have. So I just want to just share that with you all. I may not be back on, but I want you to take in mind, if you got someone who's got a book, helped out to get $1 million. I mean, they've gave a plug with it, but if you have other $100,000 ring earners actually reading the book now saying this is going to help, I just want to just share that with you. You know, don't take that for granted. I've overstayed my time for what I was supposed to share with you, but keep those things in mind. Next, set a commitment that you're going to be on your call here. Find out, stay connected with corporate. You have a legend, a live legend here with you. Get the book, follow the steps. And I think you'll really get a chance to benefit from what you have here with you. So I'm jealous because I'll be honest with you here. I wish y'all were doing my call for my state. That's what I appreciate having this here. You got a professional announcer, you know, Grammy Award winning Joe here, and you got $1 million author here. So I just appreciate sharing some of those things. I wanted you to take away, not giving you a lot of the other things that you've gotten a lot of training this weekend. I just want you to appreciate what you got in your backyard. Mr. Tanner.
Thank you, Mr. Caliste, very much. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on with us. I'll let you go back to your family. You're welcome to stay if you want to, but I know you've got a full schedule. And in just the next couple of minutes, I just, you know, Kevin Caliste said a lot of nice things about me, and I will continue to say nice things about him because he's been so generous with his time and energy. And, you know, there was a time when he really helped me to see that I could be valuable because I knew I was valuable to my team, and I was speaking to my team and I was on calls for my team, but it was Kevin Caliste. So if you get any value out of anything I've shared with you, you can thank Kevin, honestly, because he came to me at my office here in Framingham and said, we need you to come and do Super Saturdays. We need you to speak on calls. It had not even occurred to me that anybody cared what I had to say or thought outside of my own organization. And so you can thank him for that or blame him for that. It depends on how you perceive how things have gone in the time since. Kevin said something about time, and I'm just going to close up with this. And Joe, I'm going to throw it back to you. I just wanted to say for 3 minutes, I think the most commonly misunderstood component of our home-based business is time. And I promise you, the number one trick, if there is one, what do they call it? The kids call it a hack. Here's the number one hack for your Legal Shield business. Busy people are the best recruits for your business. There is, I promise you this is true. And I learned this from Todd Falcone. When you think about the people that you know that have a lot of time, for example, they own every video game system that's ever been invented and they play them. They have 300 cable channels and they've memorized them. Like they don't need the guide. They just know what those channels are. You can prospect them. You should expose them. but they are not the best recruits for your business. That doesn't mean don't share the opportunity. They get a chance too. Everybody should, but I don't hold a lot of high hope for that person suddenly deciding to take massive forward momentum with their lives. I think it's more likely that they continue to play video games online, because an object in motion stays in motion, an object at rest stays at rest, and sometimes that object is a fat butt, and that's okay. When you talk about people that you know that are entrepreneurs, real estate agents, insurance agents, sales professionals, moms and dads that are balancing it all, and you say to yourself, she is just too busy, he is just too busy, that I promise you, put those names at the top of your list. And when they tell you that they're too busy, which you know they're going to say, you say, that's exactly why I called you. You say, Sharon, that's exactly why I'm calling. I know you're too busy, and I knew you had to see this. Now, here's the reality. What is their plan for getting less busy? Because might be in a pandemic and people are working from home, but the roads are full of people still going to work. The roads are full of people still having to go to the office. The homes are full of people that still have a boss, even though they're working from home. And here's the reality of it. People want choice. They want options. And the people that are the busiest need choices and options the most. They just do. They're working hard. They want to be successful, but they are challenged constantly by making a choice between their family and their job, between their income and their security. Sometimes now they're making the choice between their health, right? Because they're not confident in going out, but they're forced to go out. They're not confident in driving a vehicle, going into the city, but they have to do it anyway. I think about the teachers. Now, we can debate whether or not it's safe and it's a political moment, and that is not something that I care to engage in, because I'll tell you what, I've been through many presidents, a whole bunch of senators, a lot of politicians, and it hasn't changed my business. I've made money every year, no matter who's in the White House or who's on your television, and that's not going to change anytime soon. What I am saying is that people have uncertainty, but people that have had great success in Legal Shield have certainty. Don't you want to share that certainty and share it with the people who need it the most? I hope you say yes. Do that. The busiest people are your best recruits. And when they say, I don't know how I'd fit it in, you say, that's why I'm bringing you this, because this is the business that you can fit in. This is a way for you to capture some time, not use more of your time. You don't have to go get another job, because this will allow you an opportunity, if you're excited about it, if you see it for yourself, an opportunity to earn income without it for once in your life being so tied to your time. I said to Kevin, he was talking about a guy, he said, I have 40 hours a week to give to my Legal Shield business. And my coaching for Kevin was, tell him, don't tell that to anybody. That is the last thing you want to say. Busy people are your best recruits. I would rather have all of you build your business for an hour every day that you actually honestly give to your business, because you'll attract those people who have only an hour a day. And you know what'll happen? It won't be very long before that 7 hours a week that you think doesn't make any difference in the world, that 7 hours that you're putting in your business will create a little team of 10 associates that will duplicate that. And now those people plus you, that's 77 hours a week while you keep working 7. What if you had 20 associates on your team doing that, or 100? There are people in Legal Shield that have thousands of associates that are giving it a real hour every day of every week of every month of every year. And that's why those people are Millionaire Club members, because this is not sales or sales management. This is direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing. And we have leverage. We have an actual component of wealth that employees don't have, that most entrepreneurs can't get. We have wealth components, leverage. You can build an international business. That business can continue to grow with or without your intervention if you build it right and you build it true. And to build it right and to build it true is to have that coveted time. I call it a power hour, empowered hour for your business in my book. But whatever that amount of time is that you can be honestly focused on your business, and you can duplicate that down through your organization, that's the power of this business model. Listen, People, I want you to hear this carefully. I know I'm going long, Joe. You're getting in. I'm landing this plane in 30 seconds, then it's yours. You're gonna get us to, you're gonna get us down the runway. People say all the time, I'm full-time in Legal Shield. Be very careful with that language, because by their definition, I would be full-time in Legal Shield, but it's just absolutely not true. I've never been full-time in Legal Shield. Now, what a lot of people mean is they don't have a job anymore. That's the right thing to say, and you want to be specific, because a lot of people are not looking to be full-time in anything anymore. I'm a full-time dad. I'm a full-time husband. I'm full-time pulling weeds in my yard. That's the life that is available for Legal Shield associates. That's the life that's available for all of you. So be full-time in that. Build a part-time business and keep it part-time, and build an army of part-time people that are also keeping it part-time. And you and those hundreds and then thousands of people can affect the lives of tens of thousands of people by helping them get this service, and millions of dollars will flood back through that organization and empower your bank account the same way you're empowering those individuals. Joe, take her home.
Thank you so much. So much wisdom, so many great reflections. I mean, I do remember that day that I got to meet these two gentlemen. They put it out there, and what they were adding, which has actually been thematic in the last little bit, is that this is not only a business, but it's also a family. It's also about connections. You know, Jim, Kevin, and myself are all on different teams. However, I met them because we were all coming together because we have a shared something, right? We had Legal Shield together. We wanted to get together here in New England. Kevin has actually been powering through for years, keeping Massachusetts having a place to have meetings. And so I'm incredibly grateful to Kevin. Even, if you were looking for, at the time when we could go to meetings, if you were looking for a meeting, you just went right over the state line and you could go to Kevin's meetings, and be able to be right there and have that experience. And, that kind of mentorship doesn't come, randomly. You do have to show up. You do have to be present. And just being able to look now, right? Like I think Kevin's probably a little proud of me, just like a little bit, because he is responsible. I mean, he was part of it. I like that he's muted out. You just see him like with big gestures. He's responsible for also telling me the truth, telling me things I don't want to hear. And at the same time, also being there and showing up. And so again, it goes back to, and none of us have the same lineage, so to speak, but it doesn't matter because we're all after the same goal, which is to protect and empower people and families, and also for us to be able to change our lives. And it's an honor to think back that that's kind of like the origin story, is having a beer, but we didn't get to have another beer since. And the thematic thing for me that's also coming up around all of this and showing up is also trying to find a way to nurture that connection with your team and connection with other people. With us at COVID, we're missing out on that opportunity to go to the conferences where a lot of that bonding and getting to meet people you never see happens. So we definitely need to cultivate that and have a little bit of that personal touch and reach out to your folks and just check them out and have a virtual beer, have a virtual juice if that's what you do, and have some water and just make those connections. And it extends past your colleagues. It actually goes to your members. It goes to your associates. Those are the things that are going to make you even stronger in your business. When somebody has 2 kids and you know what they've been through, and you're able to like reach back around and be like, hey, how are you guys doing? It's been a while. Did you get that will done? Like, that is the crux of what we're doing here and what we're building. We're bringing people together. We're changing our lives. We're changing theirs. And with that, I give you guys a fond farewell. I look forward to seeing you in less than 7 days. Mr. Caliste, it is an absolute joy to have you come on. You were a surprise for me. And so, Jim, thank you for that wonderful, wonderful surprise. And as always, Jim, thank you for your wisdom, your support, and for what you bring into our markets every week. It's such a joy to get to share this. Thank you for letting me have a little bit of my radio time. I think I'm starting to really get a vibe, a rhythm here. I'm truly enjoying it. And with that, Michael, Russell, and anybody else who is, let me see if I can see any other names. I think there's a Patrick. I want to wish you all the best of nights. This is live streamed onto the Facebook page, which is Baystate LSA. If you need me, actually, my business is Ask Joe, so you can just ask Joe. I'm actually Joe at askjoe.org. And we are here for you. So big love. Have a wonderful week. We are 11 days out from the end of the month. I can't wait to see the next slide because I know everybody's name is going to be on it. Big love.